What is up, Diecast race fans, and welcome back once again to Bay City Speedway and the conclusion of Week 5 of the Top 3 Turvy. My name is Daryl, and I'll be your host. If you remember last video, in a race that went right down to the wire, Dretty by 1 point narrowly advanced over Uncle Elvis to earn his shot at our Top 3. Advancing to face the Top 3 is a great accomplishment, but staying and becoming one of them is completely different. Once again, let's meet who Dretty is up against. First up, defending his second week in the Top 3, driving for Ironbeard Customs, it's James Ironbeard.
Fear the beard.
Defending his third week in the Top 3, driving for Live Young Diecast, it's Lone Star.
All right.
And finally, defending his fifth week of a 6-week maximum, from Arlo Racing, this is none other than Arlo.
You almost had me. You never had me. You never had your car.
And here we go, folks. Up top, beautiful Bay City Speedway. We'll go in order of points earned from last event, and that puts Arlo on the pole next to James Ironbeard, Lone Star inside front row, and new guys go in the back. And there they go. Arlo first out of the vineyards, headed for the bridge. Ironbeard into second at the crossover. But here comes Lone Star on the inside up the hill and into second. Arlo extending the lead onto the Bay City Bridge. No one else even in the shot. Lone Star and Beard continuing to battle for second around the Palace and into downtown. There's contact. Arlo already crossing the finish line. Lone Star around the final turn, and he will take second in front of Ironbeard. Dretty across for fourth. And man, I don't know who pissed off Arlo, but he's across with a lap time of 9.29, and that's the way this race gets started, folks. Lobotomy saw that lap time and passed out, apparently, as paramedics do nothing. Let's take a look at our Top 3 Turvy replay, and Arlo, man, let the kids play a little. The only action in this lap really was the battle for second place. Ironbeard with a small early lead, but Lone Star erased it at the top of the hill. Arlo with yet another amazing run, and the Beard was trying everything he could to find a way around Lone Star, but it just wasn't happening this time. Back up top, lap 2, we'll rotate him one spot clockwise, putting James Ironbeard on the pole. He'll welcome Dretty to the front. Arlo drops back a spot next to Lone Star. Gate drops, we're racing. Beard the first out of the spool heads 90 and into wine country. Arlo right there with him onto the bridge, and Dretty keeping pace. Up to Coit Hill, the inside lane separates a bit. Onto the Bay City Bridge, Arlo not leaving Beard alone, and here comes Dretty into the mix. Around the Palace, and Dretty turns Arlo around. Lone Star into the back of Dretty on the big speed, and Dretty goes around. Lone Star into him. Beard across the line, Arlo across, Dretty across, and Lone Star, oh no, stopped in the John Aubrey National Park. And that, folks, is gonna be a DNF. And those are never good when it's the lowest point total that goes home. Ironbeard, your lap 2 winner, across with a time of 10.21. This is the exact lap the Beard needed for himself here in lap 2, folks. But regardless of how much pressure Arlo was putting on him, you don't run straight into walls unless you're looking in your rear view mirror. But all that beating and banging slowed our front 2 down just enough to let Dretty right back in this race. Enough to mess with Arlo, which then caused Lone Star to rear end him on the Bixby, which caused a whole chain reaction resulting in the DNF of Lone Star. All right, Foundation, lap 3. Arlo clinging to a 1-point lead over the Beard, and those two will start this one in the back. Dretty on the pole, already getting dirty looks from Lone Star. You can't make everyone happy, Dretty. You're not a taco. And they're off like 5 o'clock on a Friday. Dretty with his nose out first, but angry Lone Star will have none of it over the crossover and into the lead on the bridge. Beard pushing Dretty up the hill, and Dretty will pass Lone Star to take the lead at the merge. Arlo all disheveled in last place, and he's taking it out on the Beard. So much contact as Dretty leads him downtown. Lone Star in reverse on the Bixby and into the home stretch. Dretty across the line for first. The other 3 all stuck together will cross. Lone Star for second. Ironbeard takes third. And a backwards Arlo closes us out for fourth. Dretty across with a lap time of 9.79, and the last time Arlo finished fourth was in the 3-legged race at last year's Employee Appreciation Picnic. Well, hats off here to Dretty for showing for the first time that he belongs here with these 3. Lone Star takes the lead up the hill, but with maybe a little help from Arlo, Dretty doesn't back down and just reclaims the lead and never looks back. Arlo gets up under the Beard as they exit the Bay City Bridge, but that's about as close as he gets, and he and Lone Star almost spin around in unison in front of the painted ladies. Final lap 4, and look at this, we've got a tie for the lead, but only the loser matters to us today, and the closest one to that is Lone Star, and he's on the pole with Arlo right beside him. And lap 4 is underway. As expected, Lone Star the first into the Napa Valley, but with no one in front of him, Arlo will grab the lead on the Golden State Bridge and lead him up the hill towards Coit Tower. Beard with an effort on the outside, but Lone Star claims second at the merge. Arlo off the bridge and past the Painted Ladies. Dretty now in third goes around. Beard gets into him and they're door to reverse door headed into downtown. Arlo across, here comes Lone Star across, and Dretty will hold on in reverse to take third away from Ironbeard. And I can't wait to see these scores. Arlo across with a less than subpar time for him of 9.81. And give it up for all four of these drivers here tonight, folks. What a show. We'll take a look at the replay here while the judges tally up the scores. And all things considered here, folks, any one of these drivers could have DNF'd on this lap and it would have sent them home. Even our beloved Arlo, who wasn't taking any chances of being touched by another driver and got himself out of harm's way early. But the other three didn't quite have that option. All right, folks, here's the scores, and holy crap, we have a three-way tie. All the math seems to be mathing, so I guess there's only one thing left to do. We're gonna have a three-way race-off, folks. 3 laps, all the drivers get a shot on the pole, and once again, lowest point total has a long ride home with their thoughts and life choices. We'll place them in order of lap time finishes, and that puts Ironbeard on the pole for lap 1 of 3. Lone Star will be outside of him, and Dretty will start this one in the rear. And there we go. Beard the first out of the 90 with Dretty on him, but there goes Lone Star into second at the bridge. Side by side up Coit Hill, and it'll be Ironbeard into the lead at the merge. Lone Star into second in front of a hard-charging Dretty. Beard is loose, but saves it. Into downtown and across the Bixby, down the home stretch. James Ironbeard will take lap 1. Lone Star in for second, followed closely by Dretty. Beard with a lap time of 10.60, and that won't be setting any records, but I bet 3 points feels real good to him about now. Back up top for lap 2, Lone Star to the pole with Dretty beside him, Ironbeard in the rear. This will be a good time for Dretty to make a move, and there's the green. Lone Star out front first, and he's pulling Beard along with him. Dretty fighting to keep up as they head toward Coit Tower. Lone Star down the hill towards the Bay City Bridge, and the Beard is gaining ground. They touch in front of the ladies, but Lone Star holds on. And here's Dretty out of nowhere headed to the Bixby. Dretty hits Beard. Beard hits Lone Star. And they all come around the final turn towards the line. Lone Star across for first. Beard in for second. And once again, Dretty pulls up the rear. Lone Star across with a subpar time of 12.43. But again, I'm sure he'd take the points over a track record any day. Final lap 3. It's not looking pretty for Dretty here, folks. He'll need a win and the 2 other to DNF just to force another race off. But stranger things have happened, like me finishing a tournament on time. But this isn't about me, this is about them, and there they go! Dretty with the lead into wine country with the other 2 side by side to the Golden State Bridge and headed up the hill. Lone Star opens it up a bit and he'll drop into second place at the merge. Dretty continues to lead across the bridge towards the Painted Ladies, and they're all starting to space out now. Dretty rattles around across the Bixby but holds on to it. Here comes Lone Star into the home stretch and around the final turn. Dretty is your lap 3 winner. Lone Star in for second, and here comes the Beard to wrap it up. Dretty with a lap time of 10.63, but he could have ran a 6.63 and it still wouldn't have mattered, as all 3 drivers finished this race and there can only be one loser. No, Dretty, you're not a loser, but your car, unfortunately, today is. And with that, a huge thank you and congratulations to Dretty with Mini Mafia Motors for making it this far. This just goes to show you folks how difficult it can be to get your foot into the door of this top 3. Congrats to the top 3 for retaining their spots, and you'll see all 3 next time. Thank you all for tuning in once again. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, this has been a presentation of Bay City Diecast Racing. My name is Daryl, and I've been your host. Have a good night, everybody.